Hi guys, welcome to Shop RJ Pasini for great deals on eBay. Today I just want to talk a little about how I take my photos. And I got a little display area where I got set up back there. I got my digital camera back in the background over there. You can't see it, of course. And I'm just going to show you how the things I use to make a display board, display case to photo shoot my pictures. The items I have. I only have a couple of items I brought out just to show you like the different backgrounds I use and how I justify shooting a white item on a white background versus shooting a white item on a black background. And I think you might get a little little information out of it here. It might be a little helpful to you. I talk about in that video. I took out the material I use, where I got it from, and you'll see it. It's coming up, so stick around. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And hey, you know what? It's probably a money saver. And you've probably seen hundreds of these on YouTube. Making your own photo shoot boxes, whatever. Or they call them white boxes. I'm not really sure. But I mean, I got my ideas from them. But this basically, how I did mine was before I even watched YouTube. How they do theirs. It's just basic common sense. And like I said again, I go over and I'll tell you, in the video where I got my items from, the equipment I picked up, display boards and so on and so forth. So check it out, and you guys like it, tell me what you think of it, okay? And I will talk to you in a closing video right after you see that video. Thanks again, guys. Here's what I got going on over here. Here you see I have a basic little table here with two little chairs. And I'm going to show you how I take my pictures when I take my photos. And I got, believe it or not, this is a black towel. And you're probably wondering, what is he going to do with a black towel? And I'm going to go over that with you in a little bit. Here, I have a tripod, right? I got my digital camera. I got two lamps here, desk lamps with clips. And you're probably starting to wonder what the rigs are for. You'll see that in a minute. I have over here an extension cord, and that's for the two lights. And I got these two display boards here, okay? And I'm going to show you how I take my photos, in case you're wondering, because I know people who follow me and people that keep me on their eBay, follow me on eBay as a seller, probably wondering, how do I go about taking my pictures, and what do I use, what equipment I use, or whatever. Right now, what I'm recording on is the Sony digital camera. It's a digital 8 camera, and I'm using that right now. I don't use my cell phone. I do have an iPhone cell phone I could use to take pictures, but I like my digital camera. I think my Sony takes really good pictures and stuff like that, especially videos. What I have over here is my Sony CyberShot, okay? And I'm going to use this camera. This is what I use to take my photos. I always keep a little rag on it just so it doesn't, when I put it in there, it doesn't damage or scratch up the back screen here, the little LCD. This is what I take all my pictures with, folks. I believe I sold two of these already. I love the camera. It's a Sony CyberShot 3.3 megapixel. Now, it's a small megapixel, but for me, the camera does the job. It does it really good. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you look at some of my photos. Now, the ones that may appear blurry, it's because I'm not 100% familiar on how to use this. I'm not a professional photographer, but you'll learn as you go along. I bought this equipment, the Sony tripod I have right now. That's my digital cameras. I bought these back in 2002 or 2003. I had them ever since. I love the cameras. I love the Sony products, and they do the trick for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this stuff here. I'm going to show you how I set it up. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way, and I'm going to come back and show you how I set my display board up, and with the lamps, how I use the lamps for dark shots. And I'm going to show you what I use that black card for, your black towel, I should say. So let me get set up over here. I'm going to move these two items. Now you see these two items over here. It's the M&M's cookie jar. I got that. Okay. And I also have this Mickey Mouse coffee mug. Now these items are for sale on eBay, just to let you know, but I'm using them for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to show you how I set my items up, how I set my display board up, and what background I use for what. I think you guys are going to know already, but we're going to take it from there. So I'm going to move these to the side. Okay, I'm going to move these to the side here. And I'm going to take the tripod, and I'm going to set this up here. Using this for demo purposes as well. This is also on eBay as well if you're interested in this here. That's why it's got the label on, but I'm using it just for demo purposes. Don't worry, it's not going to be damaged. It is still brand new. As you can see, it's got the plastic on it. And I'm just using this just to show you, again, for demo purposes, how I set my camera up when I do my photo shoots here. Okay, this is brand new, by the way. It still has the label on it, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, well, I have to get my camera first. I'm going to just set this up really quick and just show you. I'm not going to take any actual photos, but I'm just showing you how I set it up so you guys will get an idea of when I do shoot the pictures, how it comes out. You know, this is just for demo purposes. Okay, so we just push the button here, and this goes like this, and there we go. Okay, so normally when I set up my when I set up to take pictures, I will, you know, use the basic camera what I have here, and what I'm going to do is now these desk lamps are movable like that. You can see you can position them around different ways. The reason why I got the rag, it probably one of these little pieces of cloth here, is I'm going to put these on the chair over here. Now I don't know if you can see it, and the reason why is because these things do have the tendency of scratching. So we don't want to scratch the chair, but we're going to do the cables here, you know, the cords. Okay, I know you can't see me doing that in the thing there because I don't have a panoramic thing here, lens. Sorry about that, folks. But so I'm going to position this like this. Okay, maybe I'll move the camera back. Let me just see if I can get a little wider angle here by moving the camera back so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, maybe you can see because I have such a small LCD screen here; it's hard to see. So let me just move back just a scotch more, like that. There you go. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at a small little LCD screen, so it's hard for me to actually see. And I also have an extension cord here. You might want to keep one of these on hand. And again, this is for demo purposes. I very rarely have to use the floodlights unless I'm shooting at night, or if it's a rainy day out and there's no sunlight, or if there is very overcast. It gives you so much illumination. So what I do to diffuse that problem is I use these lamps. I bought 2 of these lamps. I bought them at Walmart, to be honest with you. I think I paid $7 each for them. And I did put, and I don't recommend anybody to do it because it says a maximum of 40 watt. But I have in here, I know I put heavy duty bulbs in here, I believe. I think these are 100 watt bulbs, if I'm not mistaken, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think they're 100 watt. But I don't leave them on all the time, folks. Okay, so you know, I don't recommend anybody doing that. But if you're going to do something like this and you have wooden chairs, you know, make sure you put a cloth because these will scratch the chair. Okay, so keep that on mind. And you know, you want it. These have a heavy duty clamp too. The clamp is really, it's hard to open up, believe it or not. But I guess they want to make sure it stays focused there, right? You want it to stay, affixated to that item. So now I got this little board here. It's a smaller one compared to this one here. This I got at the dollar store. I paid $1 for it. Okay, it's a display board. And I'm going to put it over like this here. Now, what's nice about this here, of course, you could adjust the chairs, to get the length you need. And I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this here. But I just want to show you, in case you're wondering how I take my pictures, what devices I use, or equipment I use, or whatever. Just give you an idea. Very basic, simple. Now you might say, well, you got all these lights back here. That's a different story. I could use them as well. I have in the past where this one here will just hang over and I'll just shoot down here like that, illuminate this area. But for all intents and purposes, I'm going to do it this way right now. Okay, so I'm going to set this up like this, the trifold, right? And let me tell you, folks, sometimes these display boards, they do get a little battered up. But you know what? This one here, this big one I got here, I got this at Walmart. Okay? This one I got at Walmart. This big one. The little guy came from the dollar store. Okay? So if you want to buy something, now the only thing is the dollar store does not have big boards like this one here. So You got to keep that in mind if you're going to, you know, take pictures or whatever, or if you're going to use this for whatever reason. Make sure you know what you're getting, all right? Because the dollar store smells the small ones. They don't sell any big ones. Okay, so now I'm going to move this cord under here, over here, and because I want to keep it together, I don't want it to be seen, of course. I'm going to plug it in, okay, the extension cord I have here. All right, because you want to keep everything away. You don't want to keep tripping over cords and stuff. And hopefully this extension cord is good. I hope it is, because I know one of these cords, extension cords are good. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. We're probably not going to need the lights, but this is just to give you an idea of what we got going on here. Now, it's a homemade job, but you know what? It works. And that's the thing. Okay? It shows up, and it also shows on the camera too, as far as like, you know, your illumination, like, you know, how it's going to look and stuff like that. So this is how I take my pictures, and I use the camera. And I'm not going to actually take the pictures because, you know, the video will be running a lot longer. I'm basically showing you how I set up my display board. But what I want to talk about is when you're shooting items like this, because now you're going to wonder where that black towels come from. If you're shooting a white item like this, okay, yes, you do have the illumination. Let's move the camera out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about here. You know, you can see with the lighting on there, it does show. Let's move it. Let's zoom in over here. Okay, it does give you that illumination. Okay, as opposed to the natural lighting, it's a whole different ballgame. So I'm going to shut one light off. All right, I'm going to shut one off. Okay, I'm going to shut this one off here. And you can see there's a difference in illumination there. Okay, it still shows kind of like, you know, because you still got natural daylight. But if I had taken the board away, I could take the board away and I could give more illumination like that as well. So I could take this away like this, and you get a little more illumination. And you can see in the camera that it does get a little, you know, it's illuminated a lot better. It's like, it's basically, it's in a natural state. But for all intents and purposes, what we want to do is, the reason why we're going to need this board here, okay, the reason we're going to need this, for the simple reason is, I need to show you that when you're shooting an item like this, you know, you want some illumination. You want to be able to get all the clarity in it, okay? Now, even though it's showing nice, I'm looking at my LCD screen here on the camera, it's showing you that it's got the illumination there. But again, that's because the LCD can be bright in there. So when you put the one light on here, and you put this over here like that, it gives you a little better, you know, clarity on it. In some cases, you might get like a little shadowing. Now I can see a shadowing here coming, so that could be a matter of just adjusting these boards to make them a little opened up or whatever. Okay, like that, or something along that line. Okay. Now the thing is, on a white and white background, you might tend to lose some of that, you know, the focal point of the object. So what I like to do is, that's where this black towel comes in, because it's white on white, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to move this here. I'm going to move this, put it to the side over here, and I'm going to take this black towel, okay? I'm going to take the black towel, and I'm just going to move this back so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so you can see what I'm doing. That's how it looks. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, look, it's a basic setup, but it gives you, you know, it'll do the job if you do it right, okay? So if you're getting a black towel, whenever you throw it in the wash, make sure you get that lint cycle on there. You get the cleanup there, of course. Again, now this is the only thing. Well, when you're doing with these type of boards, this is flimsy. Okay, so you got to bear with this here. The item or this board sometimes will fall down because, you know, the towel is a lot more heavy than the cardboard. But I think you guys got the just idea. Now, I'm going to put the item back again. Okay, like this. And now it's got probably a better look to it in the sense that, you know, you can see it more better. Of course, you're going to zoom all of that out. And now you got it like this. You know, it looks a lot better with the tube, with it broken up like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having white on white, because sometimes it just blends in with the background, right? Now you would do that. You would use this type of, you know, dark material if you're shooting white things like this, silvers, glass. You could even use it for a glass piece too. I have a glass piece here. I'm going to put that in another Disney item. This is a Disney thing. Okay. As opposed to shooting this on a white background, you can use it for that, for the glass, and it kind of like it'll show it. It should enhance it a little. Let's see here. Okay, gives a little better. It's a little better thing than rather than white. Okay. Again, the light might be too much right now, but I'm just trying to give you an example of how it would look with the light, without the lighting, and you can shoot it without the lighting as well, if it's broad daylight. And for dark items, I got this Disney mug. I'm going to put this there now. With the red on black, it would go good too. As you can see now, it's kind of like more. Now this could go on a black. This can go on a white background, folks, too. Just to let you know, you could put that on a white background. Okay. I like to keep it like that there. With the background like that black is because I think it enhances it more. My personal opinion. And again, if you're doing it during daylight, you're shooting a picture in natural daylight. Of course, it's going to be better. I'm going to remove the black cloth and show you what it looks like without it. On colors like this, you can use just the white backboard, and you'll see it still shows up nice. Let me just move the camera over here. I'm sorry, folks. It still shows up nice. Okay. The other little trick too I wanted to tell you guys. Let me move this thing in the focal range here. The other thing I want to tell you too, I noticed, the only thing I noticed too in regards to the with the backboard like that there is when you have the little seams. You see the seams there where the two meet? If you take like a sheet, I don't know if I can get one over here. Okay, and I just want to give you a little idea of what I would do with that there in this situation. It might not be big enough, but this is just to give you a little idea. I had cut a piece of sheeting, but if you don't want to see that seam, what you would do is take a piece of white cloth like this, make sure it's clean, move this to the side. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the whole length of the board. And what you would do is, just so you don't have to see the seam in a photo, okay, and what you do is you just will drape this down here. Again, make sure there's no lint on it. This one has lint on it, okay. It has been washed and cleaned. And what you do is when you don't want to see the seams in there, folks, like that, make sure all the lint is off, whatever. Now when you shoot your photo, okay, when you shoot the photo, you don't see the seam. Make sure there's all wrinkles out of it. I can see it over here. How do you get that out? Okay, make sure you try to work it in a little. If you want, you could steam it beforehand. This way you have it. And now, when you look at the picture, this, like I said, that cloth hasn't been steamed out. But if I had all the wrinkles out of it, it would really be nice, and you wouldn't see the seams. That's how you would mask out the seams. And when you're taking your pictures with the camera, you would definitely take a notice in it there versus with the cloth, with it and without. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to give you a little overview on how I shoot my pictures, how I take the pictures of the items I have listed on eBay, the homemade remedies I use for display boards. I'm not going to go out and spend, like I said, if people who know me, you know my past as far as like with selling, selling stuff like that. I am a frugal person, and I do things where it should be cost effective. Okay, I don't want to, buy expensive things, just to do. And look, if I could get almost, I'm not saying professional results, but if I can get almost the same results shooting stuff like this here, shooting photos and taking nice pictures. Now, of course, you're not going to see the rag like that there because it would be a whole big sheet. I'm just using as an example. Even if I did want to use this here, I could just, zoom in with my camera like that, and you wouldn't even see the rest of it. So I can go like that, you wouldn't even see that. So if I snap the picture, all you would see is that. But I'm just trying to say, going forward, that's the way you could do it, folks. Inexpensive way to make your own display board, and it's pretty good. It's nothing wrong with it. It works pretty good. And if you didn't want to go that route where you wanted to use the cloth, that's fine too. You don't have to do that if you don't want. That's up to you. But this is how I shoot my photos. Very simple. I bought those two desk lamps, or clamp lamps, whatever you want to call them. I got those at Walmart, I believe. I think I paid $7 or $8 a piece for them. I did throw higher bulb, higher watt bulbs in there. I believe they're 100-watt bulbs in there. Now they do require 40 watts, okay? But for all intents and purposes, I do not use these for anything else other than taking pictures, okay? The reason why I probably tell you, because maybe the heating element, the element in there could get too hot, it could burn it, maybe who knows, that can cause it, I don't know. But all I know is I only use that for photography purposes. Once it's done and over with, I pull the plug, that's it, they're gone, they go back into storage, okay? They do require 40-watt bulbs, but I think like I said, I do have 100-watt bulbs in each one. I wanted a lot of illumination, the most, as much as I could get. But it's very simple. It works. And if you have like a little table like that, a little display table that you have laying around the house or whatever, and you want to put it to good use, you can make your own display board. You can keep it up. If you have a spare room, you keep it up like that there, and you shoot your own pictures. And you don't have to go crazy, buying all those expensive things. Some people may say, I'd rather just go out and buy professionals. And that's up to you guys. That's up to you. For me to buy everything here, what I got, the board, the small board, I got at the dollar store for $1. The big board, the one that you see the back there, I think I paid $2 or $3 at Walmart. I think it was $3 at Walmart. Okay, so you're talking $4. Then the lamps, let's say the lamps I think are $8, that's what, $16. Okay, so you do the math, you figure it out. I got the thing done probably for what, less for peanuts, basically, And it's not bad, like I said, and it works, and it works. And that's how I take my photos, folks. So if you got anything out of this here where you think, it's helpful and you like the way it looks, you think it's a pretty good idea what I have here, it's basically, you could basically set it up anywhere, and it's a small table. And when you finish with it, you pop it out, fold the boards up, put them away for storage, and then you got your table back again. This is, like I said, it's just a little photography tip that I just wanted to share with you guys because, I like to share things with people. And, if you guys are wondering how I shoot my photos, this is how I do it. And to me, it almost comes out professional looking in some cases. You do have photo editing software where, you can enhance the photos and, put more vibrant colors in there, whatever. I don't like to mask anything out though, folks. That's the thing with me. When I shoot a photo, like I say in some of my videos, I shoot it with the light on, with the flash on, the flash off, because sometimes the light, when you do a flash, it's so bright it can mask a problem out. If there's a flaw in an item, it's got a scratch or a ding or a dent, whatever, it can mask out the problem. So I shoot it sometimes both ways, and I told this to you. I put this in my videos. Let people know that when I'm shooting pictures, I do it with both on, flash on and flash off. So you see it in its natural. Plus, I like to do it. I like to shoot these things in natural lighting too. To be honest with you. Now it is bright. It is sunny outside right now. But if you had like an overcast day where the room is not so illuminated, you might want to consider, doing this here with the lights. And like I said again, it's very economical. I'm lucky I probably didn't spend not even close to $30 on everything right there. Not even 16. Like I said, you do the math. It's like, I'm lucky it's probably under $30. Maybe probably the whole thing probably cost me $25 if that, with the tax included. Okay. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped out. Again, just give you a little recap. This is how I shoot my photos, and the pictures that you see listed on eBay, I've taken them with the camera using this technique. And that's basically it, guys. I will talk to you next video. Well, actually, I'll talk to you when I close out this video. So, okay, guys. Thanks again for hanging out and checking this out. Thank you. Bye. Okay, guys. So you've seen how I set up and how I take pictures of my the items I have listed on eBay. The same technique that you see there is what I use to do all the photos of my eBay listings. Like I said, I'm not a professional photographer. I base everything on common sense. I do know a little about it, not much, but I think I know enough when to shoot an item versus daylight and versus it's a little gloomy out. I can differentiate that there with the with the auto white balance set on my camera and stuff. But for the most part, that what I showed you in that video is basic things I picked up at my local stores. I didn't have to go and buy expensive equipment. Like I said, I know they got the light box and they got those umbrella lights there where if you, need a lot of illumination. I'm not saying what I have is the best there, folks. Because there is probably a better lighting with the when you get the regular light boxes. But you know something, it does the trick. And like I said in that video, for what I paid for all those, all those things you see there, the display boards and the 2 lights, I mean, it's probably under 25 bucks, if that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not bad. It's a small investment. And you look at my photos on eBay listings; they're not bad. They came out pretty good. I tried for the most part to shoot natural light, and the only way I could do that is when I get up real early in the morning when the sun first rises. I can't shoot them, if it gets late in the afternoon. Now forget now, we're in a, we lost an hour, right, because of daylight savings time, we lost it. So around 4-ish, 5, it starts getting dark around here, and the sun starts going down, sunset, and that's when the natural lighting kind of like dissipates. It starts getting darker in here. And that's when you would probably use those 2 clamp-on table lamps, you know what I'm saying? Clamp lamps, whatever. And they help out, they do. They have, there is type of bulbs that I could put in there. I don't know if you see them, they're like, I don't know if they're halogen bulbs or what do you call it? I think they're like fluorescents. And they kind of they're squirrely, like they swirl around like that, And I'm not sure how much they cost, but that would probably give you a little better luminance, as they call it, a brightness, as opposed to your regular incandescent bulb, like a regular house bulb that you would put in a table lamp. That would probably be better, to be honest with you, because that's like a fluorescent light. It would probably give you a whiter light as opposed to an incandescent, where it's like they're usually warm, kind of. They got that warm glow to them. So maybe I might do that there. Maybe I might upgrade it, the lamps, the light bulbs in there, to those fluorescent bulbs. They're not cheap. I know that they're not too cheap, but if they do the trick, that might be a better way to go too. But I have 200-watt bulbs in there. Those, like I said in the video, those lamps require 40-watt bulbs, and that's what they require to put in there. And the reason why is because I don't know if you know, but if you put, even with the regular 40-watt bulbs in there, and you leave those things on for quite some time, you will see the element, the metal part there, the housing, it does get very hot. Of course, the bulb is, giving off heat, of course, but it gets very hot. I mean, I had it even where the switch where you turn it off, you could feel it getting hot. So, no, I wouldn't recommend using 100-watt bulbs in there. Okay, I'm only using them because, like I said, those bulbs, those light fixtures are strictly for photography use. Once it's done, and they don't stay on that long. I don't keep them on. I mean, when I put my items up there, if I'm going to do them one after another, they stay on. But if I'm going to walk away for a while, take a lunch break, coffee break, whatever, I shut them off. I don't leave the lights on them. It's crazy to leave them on anyway. You're burning a lot of wattage. For the most part, though, it's a good way to take pictures. And, if you want to see how my photos came out, like I said again, I'm not a professional. I don't have state-of-the-art cameras. I'm using a Sony Cyber-Shot camera with a 3.3 megapixel. I know they got, 20 megapixels. But you know what? They still look good to me. I mean, you tell me if they look bad, then drop it in the comment box. Leave a comment and say, hey, I think you could do better if you had a camera that had more megapixels. You want to leave that in, fine. Listen, I can take constructive criticism when it comes to things like that. If people don't like the way it looks, I think I could take better pictures. Hey, more power. And you know what? For those who out there who do know, more about photography, if you want to share any of your tips with this here, drop it in my comments, and hopefully people that watch it, the new subscribers, the presents and the present subscribers and the new ones, if they can get some ideas from you, that's even better yet. I like to share this information. I mean, I'm sure, like I said again, there's probably hundreds or thousands of people out there talk about the same thing. Maybe there are people that have the same exact setup like I have, and they're telling you the same thing, where they got their display boards from or their lights from, whatever. But you know what? It's okay. The more the merrier. I just want to throw it out there to you guys. And if you get anything out of it, that's great. If you like what I do with these videos, folks, please subscribe to my channel. And if you got anything out of this video and you think it helped out in any way, you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. But thanks again for stopping by and taking the time to check it out. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you again in the next video. Bye-bye now.